Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Let a few people gather. Hello, Kayleen. Hello, Dana. Hello, Jason. Everyone. Welcome to the broadcast presentation. Everybody can hear the music okay? It's not too loud, is it? Is the mix okay with the music and my voice? Wait for a couple of people to gather. Makes for a more fun presentation. There we go. Hello, Sue. Steve Turner, hello, bro. So again, everyone, is the volume with the music okay against my voice? Give it another couple more minutes, maybe 2 more minutes. We'll get started. Dana says, perfect. Thank you, dear. So tonight my broadcast is going to be on the way home last night from my gig. I remembered something that took place with me some time back. Something I began to notice in people's eyes. So I titled this broadcast, A Burning Yearning, It's in the Eyes. The eyes are a tell. Look around, look in people's eyes, you'll see it for yourself. The eyes are a tell. They say everything. We know that already, it's common knowledge. But I want to take that a little deeper. And as you go throughout your day, throughout your life, your week, as you mix and mingle with other people, or wherever you may be, just in a restaurant, people you don't even know, just look. Not just looking, though, but with the intent of seeing. Hello, Clark Cotton. With the intent of wanting to see something. So this broadcast is titled, A Burning Yearning, It's in the Eyes. We're all looking for something. We're all looking for something. Maybe not all of us, but I'm included. We're all looking for something. You can see it in people's eyes. You can see it in people's eyes that they don't even know themselves that they're looking. But they are looking. Food, alcohol, drugs, sex, pornography, genealogy, this, that, the other. People are figuring themselves out about who they are, or at least trying to. Believe it or not, Addiction means we are looking for something. Think about this in the context of which it is meant. Addiction means we are wanting something so badly to fill the hole that we feel inside. Addiction means we're all looking for something. We're craving it. We're craving something. So much so, we want it to be the very thing that fills the hole we feel inside. It is my goal at the end of this broadcast, this presentation. We're not going to fill the hole that we feel inside. We're going to feel the whole. As in the whole pie. We're not going to fill the hole. We're going to feel our own wholeness. So addiction means that we're looking. So when it's seen from this perspective, it's a good thing. So in this time that we're living in, it's always been this way. But more so now because the energy is lifting and moving. Fretting, worrying, being afraid, being jealous is not part of the plan. It may be a part of your own personal plan. But if you want to align yourself with something more powerful, more magical, you are all those things yourself. But when we get in alignment, when we get into conscious connection with that kind of energy, that kind of power, that kind of momentum, things get real and real juicy. I have a lot of reading to do. So while we're getting started, if you feel it, post this on your wall, share it. You can hit the notification button if there is one. You can go to the ellipsis at top and say notify me when Keith goes live. What I'm going to be reading tonight here shortly comes from my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. Hello, Dale Bradshaw. And the soundtrack for my spiritual band, Lavender Soul. I'll be reading from The Divine Principle shortly about this presentation. Quick announcement. March 11th, 5 p.m. Unity Church in Walnut Grove in Memphis, or Cordova rather. I'm going to be doing my first presentation in a long time, my first public presentation in a long time, on radical transformation. That's the new book I am fashioning now. Hopefully should be out in a couple of months. I'm working that diligently. Radical Transformation. Radical Transformation is a book that was birthed by your participation in these live feeds. I can't begin to tell you how much I want to say thank you for helping me to create this wonderful piece of work. You actually shaped and helped write this book. You did. I was just the vessel. It was all of our collective energy. So March 11th, I'm going to be doing a presentation. The other gentleman you see in the photo is Angelo Rapin. Angelo is going to create the soundscape behind the presentation. He's a classical, award-winning concert pianist. He was the pianist for the Memphis Symphony Orchestra for many years. There's no rehearsal involved. He's just going to sit at this piano. And as I begin to do the presentation, he's going to tap into the same place that I'm going to be in. And he's going to communicate with me and I with him and the audience into this symbiotic dance, a symbiotic relationship. And Spirit's going to be present. You can bet Spirit is going to be present for this presentation of radical transformation. So even though Angelo is not here, I want to say thank you, bro. Dear Lord, can this man play? Wow. So from The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. Let me see who's here. I see a few people in real quick. I love acknowledging beautiful people. Dana, Kayleen, Dale, Janice, Sue, Clark Cotton. I see somebody else in here. Oh, it's Dale. Hey, there we go, bro. So tonight I'm going to start reading from The Divine Principle. We're all looking for something. We could see it in people's eyes. It's a burning yearning. It's in the eyes. We're looking for food, alcohol, drugs, sex, pornography, genealogy, this, that, the other. people are trying to figure themselves out about who they are. We're all trying to fill this hole that we feel inside. But does filling that hole with fragmented, superficial things that we can only acquire from the outside world, does it really work? It does not. I can feel spirit already moving inside of me. Whew, I need a moment. This is not showboating. This is truly what transpires. So it is my hope, it's a fact. You watch this presentation, by the time we come to the end of this broadcast, you won't fill the hole. You will feel yourself as whole instead of broken, so to speak, or fragmented. We're all trying to fill this place. Fretting, worrying, being jealous, being afraid is not part of the future plan of the meek. From the Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth, my bestseller, I asked Spirit the question, what have I been really seeking all this time? Hello, Nina. I asked God the question, what have I really been seeking all this time? Spirit says, what you have been longing for is your own internal life fire. But because until recently, you were looking for love in all the wrong places, you have always fallen short of fulfillment. Your obsession with things external has taken over and left you feeling unguided and alone. Your belief in lack has driven your ego wants, urges, and addictions. By overlooking the spirit within yourself, you have been unable to fully realize that it is you and you alone who have held the key to your own bliss. That's the idea. We've been looking outside for things to fill us inside. And it doesn't work. It's very temporary. It's temporal. This is where the dialogue gets very, very powerful. It's all very powerful. Your life is powerful. I'm not in my energy yet as to why I'm not flowing. I'm kind of biding my time. Because something is moving inside of me. Probably everything that this broadcast is going to be about, and I just have to sit here and linearly channel it out and speak it. Spirit continues in the Divine Principle. The entire universe is in a constant state of change. This never changes. Yet within this paradox, there is something that is fixed, permanent, and absolute, an anchor that moors the universe's intention, order, direction, and unfolding. That something is God, the unchanging changer. Everything always changes, and this will never change. That's what God is, the unchanging changer. Spirit continues, because you have begun to do so much internal work, Keith, your perceptions are heightened, and right now it seems that there are no more changes happening than ever. Excuse me, let me start that again. Because you have begun to do so much internal work, your perceptions are heightened, and right now it seems to you that there are more changes happening than ever before. The fact is that nothing has really changed here except your level of awareness. Back before it developed, what never seemed to change was that nothing seemed to be going right in your life. But your new cognizance has altered that for you, has it not? And I reply, yep, it has, and I believe I'm really starting to make some sort of sense of this paradox thing. Spirit says, you think? Well, my friend, you are correct, because I can see with each passing day that you and many are spotting the synchronicity, coincidences in your life that are beginning, and you are beginning to freely interact with them. And I say, wow. So where does synchronicity, serendipity, these little miracles, where do they come from? How does it manifest? And what does it mean? Spirit says, it is born out of my essence in the causal realm. From there, it swirls through your mind and into your feelings, aligning events around you on the earth plane. But coincidences have no significance other than to get your attention through higher means so that you can grasp the very alignment that you are in. Because you're beginning to truly open your eyes and ears, you can hear the higher language and can at last see order in what has always appeared to be chaos. Tonight's broadcast is we all have a burning yearning. You can see it in people's eyes. Look in the mirror and look in your own eyes. Tell me what you discover. And I say, I can see the chaos, and every once in a while, I can see the order. But it's still a little challenging for me to see order in the chaos, God says. Keep looking, beloved, because chaos is like a snow globe whose contents may be shaken, but whose shimmering flakes always settle back into order. So it is in the physical universe. Though things may be shaken, they still find a place to settle. Now do you see how there is order even in chaos? And I say, sorta. Soon, my friend, soon. As you continue to awaken, everything will come into clearer view. The pace of change will quicken for you, and the synchronized phenomena will occur more frequently. What this is saying is, as we begin to align ourselves with the highest language, the divine language, God, miracles begin to show up like this. They're called alignment, synchronicity, serendipities, whatever word you choose. The pace of change will quicken for you, and synchronized phenomena will occur more frequently. The more you can successfully navigate using the compass of synchronicity, the more effective you will be as the captain of your own master ship. Then nothing will slip by you unmonitored, and the wake of your past will be replaced with your own willpower. This is how you will evolve. I need some water. Hello, Chad. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Cheryl. Again, for those who are just arriving, we're reading from my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. If you have not purchased this book yet, you can get it on Amazon. You can go to KeithAnthonyBlanchard.com or centeroflightradio.com. Go to the Creations tab. $17. If you read this book and you don't receive even just the enjoyment, sheer enjoyment of reading a book that's fun, contact me. I'll send you your money back. That's a deal. Hello, Faye. So in the Divine Principle, in a meditation, once I had a test put to me by Spirit. God says basically, Keith, are you ready for a test? I said, oh shit. What's going to happen now? Am I going to be tested? And it says, no, not in the way you imagine. But it says, Spirit says, just one note. For each question, only one answer is possible. The correct one, the highest one. Remember, the title of this broadcast is A Burning Yearning. It's in the eyes. We're all trying to fill the hole inside with food, sex, drugs, alcohol, pornography, genealogy, this, that, the other. We're trying to find out who we are, where we came from. Even in the addictions, people are looking for something to fill them inside, to fill the hole. But we want to feel that we are whole. But even through genealogy, people are trying to find out who the heck they are and where they came from. I get it. I do it every day. We all do it. So this test that Spirit put to me, just one note. For each question, only one answer is possible. The correct one, the highest one. Prepare to earn an A+. There's no way we can get the answers wrong. The reward for your high grade is unity with Spirit. Wow. Dear Lord, that was juicy. Know that you are loved so much, failure is not an option. I await the moment when I place upon you that big gold star for scoring 100%. All right, everybody, here we go. Here's the test. Take a breath, just one breath. Here's the test. Spirit was speaking to me, but I'm going to recite to you the test, and you just answer the question in your mind. So basically, Spirit is speaking to you. Spirit says, who am I? And your question would say, God. Can God read your mind? Would I not have to be somehow connected to you to do this? Yes, of course. Is the mind of God clear? Is there anything God has created without clarity? If so, what do you think it would be? And then I responded, no, I don't think anything could have come about if you were not clear. Is God a perfect being? Is God capable of creating anything that is not perfect? Who created you? Who created the earth? Who created the solar system, which is one of infinity? And who created the Milky Way galaxy, which is one of infinity? Speaking to God, I say you. Who created the universe? And I say you did. Spirit says, who created God? And I said, no one. And therefore, and I say, you just are? Yes, always have been and always will be. Who sustains your life? Who sustains the life and movement of the solar system? God. Who sustains the life and movement of the Milky Way galaxy? Who sustains the life and movement of the universe? And I respond, you do. Again, who sustains the life and movement of God? And I say, I can see now that everything except you is derived from you. So I'm perplexed. What are you really? And God says, it would be more correct to ask what I am not. For there is no form that is me, and there is no name that I do not bear. God is not my name, though the word does invoke an image of the highest authority. What I am is the ultimate awareness. What I am is perpetual, infinite potential. Surely you can understand that everything born of infinite potential has within it its own spark of infinite potential. Everything has infinite potential to become infinite potential. But to become invincible like me, Spirit speaking, you must go deep within and reach for that infinite potential yourself. And I say, I think I may actually understand this. Parentheses, I'm amazed at myself. So you're not perplexed after all, are you, Keith? I say, no, I guess I'm not. You see, your intent to go within and seek. You have pierced your confusion at last. You have just become introduced to your own infinite potential. Now let us see what you do next. As this is a very, very important piece of dialogue from the divine principle. Really, really hear this. As clearly as there are rewards for going within yourself for sustenance, there are definite consequences for going outside. When you reach out to grab the world, you are vulnerable to its influences and to the rules that apply on the physical plane. It is there that you encounter the many distractions and temptations that result in your conscious disconnection. Looking to the temporal world for what you think you need implies a belief that you are lacking something. I ask you, why must you reach outward for fulfillment? You can never reach your infinite potential or power that way. And I say, thinking about how often I reach outward. Keith, do you understand that God is life itself and cannot be separate from creation? And I say, yes, because if that were a possibility, all things would cease to exist. Seems to me that you're getting the hang of it. The reason you and many sometimes find life so challenging is because you give credence to the idea that the world outside is something other than you. It is that which has caused so many of you to feel so alone and unguided. But here's the real kicker. All of you have the potential to tap into the self that connects you to me, Spirit. And I ask, are you telling me that I'm just like you in every way? God says, Let us say that you are already embodying many of my principles. Like what? Your innate ability to create a life of quality instead of one of mediocrity. As Scripture says, you are created in the image and likeness of God. Genesis 5:1. I see some questions coming into the room. Stick around. I would love to get to them. Hello, Crystal. So I'm now going to go to another document. Give me one moment. I'm going to continue reading. Again, for those who are just arriving, this broadcast is titled A Burning Yearning. It's in the eyes. Look around you as you move about your day. People are looking for something. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't even know they're looking, but you can see it. They feel as if there's a hole inside of them, and they want to fill that hole. My intention of this broadcast tonight is to help you feel. I don't want to fill your hole. I don't want to put something in something that does not exist. There is no hole. It doesn't exist. We're just not privy to the information how to tap into that part of ourselves, and that's my purpose here tonight. But I don't want you to fill the hole. I want you to feel yourself as whole. Continue reading from the divine principle. Free will definition. Everyone knows I'm huge on definitions. You can't argue with the definition. It's our collective agreement that the dictionary is our resource for the human language. The idea, what the definition says, is telepathic thought, written word, spoken word that conveys to us said definition. Free will definition. The human will regarded as free. Free. Very, very important for this discussion. Free. We have the choice to choose. The human will regarded as free from restraints, compulsions, the addictions I talked about earlier, or any antecedent conditions, freedom of decision or choice. Spirit says Earth is Spirit's neutral zone, and as one of its denizens, you have free will on a free will planet, able to opt for either love or fear with every choice you make. Every choice we make is imbued with either love or fear, whether we know consciously we're doing it or not. So why not get on the conscious deliberate boat and participate deliberately. That way you can have exactly what you want, help avoid obstacles and karma from things that showing up in your life that just kick in your pants. Every choice we think is imbued with either love or fear. There is no other way out. There's no way out of the game. There isn't, really. And I asked Spirit, but how do I recognize the highest choice? What I just said. It's a great question when I posed it. But how do I recognize the highest choice so I can make it consistently? Spirit says you are wise to recognize that that is exactly where you have been stuck. Even so, you have continued making choices. Some have manifested to your liking, while others have not. We both know that love is the choice you truly desire, but you must commit yourself more fully to it. You do that by doing even more intensive and extensive mind cleansing and more conscious, intensive, intentful soul searching. That is what will get you there. Here we go to filling the hole inside, or having you feel your own wholeness. This will take away any shadow of doubt where you came from, where you are going, and more important for this presentation, who you really are. I don't have to say anything. The dialogue between me and Spirit is going to explain it to you. Ask yourself, who am I, when you hear this dialogue? Spirit says, back to basics. For clarity about how you ended up where you are now, it is time to check your origins and the many influences you have had along the way. To learn about yourself on a physical level, you must go all the way back to your birth, birthplace, and early environment. Recall your food intake, injuries that you sustained, and illnesses that you had throughout your childhood. To learn about yourself on a mental level, look at your family, religious instructors, peers, teachers, government, and the media, for they have instilled in you what they thought was right or wrong, holy or blasphemous, real or illusion, possible or impossible. To learn about yourself on an emotional level, consider the hurt, pain, and fear you have been through. Ask yourself, why did I choose to incarnate into that particular family in that particular place? What lessons did I come here to complete? Acknowledge how the tough love your parents meted out was not intended to abuse you, nor was it meant to leave you holding any emotional baggage. Instead, take into account how their discipline has been instrumental to your development. Spirit's moving now. Take stock of what you are holding on to and rejoice in what you have released. Take an overview of life. Take an overview of your life, the gift of it, and the real gift of what you have gained by living it. See all these lessons and learn. To get to your spiritual roots, this is very definitive about helping you understand who you are. And it's all the stuff that's in the way that's keeping us from consciously making contact. To get to your spiritual roots, understand that your body is comprised of the same properties as the celestial bodies, your star parents. Begin to see yourself as a divine child enfolded by universal consciousness, coming into your purpose, your birthright, and your divinity. Look in, out, and all about. Everywhere, see God and be God. And I ask, will it help me to think of us humans as characters who have come to act out our roles on Earth's great stage of duality? Yes, because that's exactly what you are doing. Even though you do not remember this, long before everyone began to incarnate, you've collectively decided how long you were willing to play your parts in the Earth experiment. You agreed that when the clock ran out, whatever level of consciousness you had achieved would be the determining factor for the world's fate. Why don't we remember, I ask? That is the only way that all your choices can be unbiased ones. And I say, I wish I could have known sooner about who I am. Spirit says, why? Maybe I could have done more while I've been here this time. It does not matter whether or not you knew. Your next level will happen regardless. What is important is that you have the time of your life while you are here. I say, I'm having a bunch of fun, all right, but what I want is more quality. And God says, questions, Keith. And I say, huh? Use that exquisite and ever-present inquisitiveness of yours to ask questions like, who am I? Why am I here? Why do things happen to me the way they do? What does all of this mean? No matter the question, if you ask it with all of your heart, the door to the answer will swing open, revealing the I that you truly are, and then your life will become one of superior quality. The I within you is subtler than you yet realize, and sometimes you try so hard to experience it that you overshoot your target. Sometimes when we think that we have to squint and use difficulty and hardness and stiffness to try to have some idea or sort of spirituality. That's overshooting the target. God is pretty smart. It's called intelligence, divine intelligence. so intelligent that it's all simple. Everything is just simply laid out. The I within us all, within you all, is so subtle that you yet realize, and sometimes you try so hard to experience it, that you overshoot your target. What you're looking for lies in wait just behind the mask of what you know as you. To merge with it, just relax into it. Try it now. Just relax. And you feel it engulf you immediately. It begins to swallow you into its whole self. To merge with it, just relax into it. You will know you are there when you begin to recognize how much you have let yourself become a slave to your own thoughts and feelings. Spirit says, try this. Turn on some music. Take a breath and listen to that. Take another breath and listen to that. Let go of everything. Take a breath. Spirit says, are you listening with just your ears? I said, no. All of me is listening. And I'm amazed how quickly I was able to tune into the true listener. Keith, what is the true listener, you may ask? Take a pause. Turn away from the screen or just close your eyes so you don't see me. And as you hear my voice, that's the you that has always been aware since the beginning of everything, eternally. It's the you that is aware now, and that is the you that will forever exist. Okay, you can open your eyes. That is the true listener. And Spirit says, well, that sweet spot of your soul is the eternal, unchanging, ever-aware I. And it has always been there, just waiting. And I say, my whole life I've looked for it so hard, and this whole time it's been right under my nose. No wonder I've been so frustrated. The title of this broadcast, A Burning Yearning. It's in the eyes. People are looking. We're all looking for something to fill the hole. But this broadcast, this presentation, is to help you feel whole. I know that it sometimes gets quite hectic for you, but even your irritation is purposeful on the spiritual road to perfection. Let me read that again. That was for me. I know that it sometimes gets quite hectic for you, Keith, but even your irritation is purposeful on the spiritual road to perfection. I just wish I could experience who I really am on a daily basis. Yes, you frequently change your eye perspective, claiming you are this and you are that. Trying to be something, anything, all the while harboring great hopes of discovering who you really are. You have no trouble saying I, but you have so much trouble experiencing your own authenticity. What will help you is when you begin to change your internal dialogue about who and what you think you are. It does not help you one iota to say things like, I am angry, I am mad, I am sick, I am content, I am bored, I am alone, I am poor, I am afraid. I say, you are so right. Spirit says, yes, you are, Keith. I said, me? There, you did it again. And I say, did what? So easily overlooked your true self. And that, my friend, is what causes your difficulty. Understand that you are not the feelings that flood your emotional system, nor are you the thoughts that overwhelm your mind. The monkey mind, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, that monkey mind I always talk about. The yammering on of the devil and the angel and the devil. As you have realized, as you have just realized, you are the silent witness, that true listener, observing the whole drama as it unfolds. But the problem is that your ego is not so silent. It wants to be the director and continue to dictate to you exactly what it thinks you are, should be, and should do. The confusion it engenders often pulls you into life's dramatic movie even further, convincing you that whatever you are experiencing is real. No wonder the life you are living seems to be the same thing over and over. You see, beloveds, when you make judgments based solely upon past experiences, you leave no room for something new. There are many times I hear all of you say to yourself, "What about me? When is it going to be my turn?" Well, this dialogue, this book, this body, this life are all for you. The real you. Now go live your purpose. Now it is your turn. Continuing reading. And I will take a Q&A. Spirit says, "Keith, shall we play with some more words to facilitate a lesson?" I said, "Sure." I love it. I'm saying, let's do it. If you look at the cliche of me, myself, and I, you might recognize the me in this saying as what you once thought yourself to be: separate, alone, and detached. With this viewpoint, seeking self-gain was automatic for you. You did not have much of a choice in the matter because such an attitude is never about the true you. It is always about the ego and what it wants. You must be willing to toss that me of yours into love's purifying fires to ignite the flame of who you really are. You must not continue to let your ego steal from the self that you are in order to appease the mirage self. You must turn your selfishness into selflessness. Any suggestions about how I can become more giving and allowing? Spirit says, you must reverse the formula from me, myself, and I to I, myself, and me. First, see God, the I, as the totality of all things. Next, honor the higher self, myself, that's the higher self in everyone. And then accept everyone as they really are, facets of you, the me. I, as Spirit, will living like this get me the love I need so I can be more giving? Not quite. Your ego is still dictating to you that you have a lack of love and that it must somehow be gained. But love is not something you get. Love is something you are. It's the very stuff that you are made of. Me, myself, and I. God. Any suggestions about how I can merge into the self? Yes, trust me with your life. Surrendering the whole thing up to me will ease you into divine order quite nicely. But that's tough for me to do all the time. I never said that pursuing a divine life would be easy, Keith. But my reality is there for those who really want it. I never said that pursuing a divine life would be easy, but my reality is there for those who really want it. One more reading segment, we'll be done. Then we'll take a Q&A. I asked Spirit the question, So, what should we call this time that we're living in? The end, the beginning, the new age, the golden age, revelation, Armageddon, the rapture? What? Spirit says, it matters not to me what you call it. What does matter is for you to believe with all that you have that I am blanketing you and the earth with love's vision so that humanity can see what has been created, how it works, and what needs to be recycled for further expansion. You must know that the closer I get to you, the more the law of cause and effect will be in play. Said another way, as my light pierces the illusion of time and space, everything about you will be unmasked to reveal your shadow self, your own illusion. Are you saying that cause and effect will not be separate and that our thoughts will suddenly begin to manifest? Right, kiddo. As the world keeps moving down its timeline, reality will indeed begin to immediately manifest from thought, because God power is winding its way through every soul on the planet, making now the perfect time to manifest your own life's desires. But before we can truly work and play together, I must first mirror to each of you with all of my love exactly who you are as a thinking, feeling, doing, being. And I ask, in closing, so is that how the universe functions? Spirit says, yes, absolutely. The whole system of creation the whole system of creation works in harmony, constantly learning and updating, ever expanding. And I am ready to reveal to all of you the progress we have made. So if we are partly responsible for creating this magnificent universe, why did any of us choose to consciously leave its grandeur and come to live on earth? Spirit says, just for the hell of it. Let me ask you a question. Are you having any fun, Keith? And I say, at this point of my life, I'd say I am. Pretty much. The universe works together, constantly updating, shifting, reshifting. So for those who are just getting here, thank you. I'm going to get to a Q&A. Title of the broadcast is A Burning Yearning. It's in the eyes. People looking for more food, alcohol, drugs, sex, pornography, genealogy. We're trying to find who we are. Even through genealogy, we're trying to trace our roots back. We're trying to find who we are when we're willing to go as far back as we can in the physical world. But are we willing to do that spiritually? And when we go back spiritually, we begin to see that we are comprised of the same things, the same components, carbon, this, that, as our star parent, the celestial bodies. It's all the same stuff playing itself out in other stuff, and it's all the same. It's the same God energy with different guises. It's a different face. That's why when I read earlier, God is not my name, said Spirit. There is no name it does not bear. It's the same face expressing itself. And when we understand that, and we drop that understanding here, wow, is it really that easy just to take what I believe could be true and actually to start playing with it here and really moving into it and celebrating in it, celebrating my own life? So much so that there's nothing I have to do except be joyful, be ecstatic, be in bliss, and do those things that brings me joy and bliss. There is no other way. Let me see who might be bringing questions forth. Chad says, do you think God cares for other animals as it does for humans. How about plants? Do it's the same thing. Chad, you asked a question before I got to the room about what I just posed. Absolutely. It's all the same being. It's called the Christ body. It's all the same being. You take spirit out of the equation of any of it, that any of it ceases to exist. It does not exist. It will not exist when spirit steps aside. It's all God. God is omnipresent, present in all places at all times. There's no place that is not except fear. God does not dwell in fear. So when we get out of fear, then we have the capacity to truly see. Well, Keith, do you say if I just get out of fear, will I be able to see different things I've never seen before? It's exactly what I'm saying. Your vision, your capacity to experience. Seeing is not only the eyes. Seeing can be feeling. Seeing can be hearing. Seeing can be tasting. Every aspect of your being gets greater when we get out of fear. So yes, Chad, to answer your question, God is everything and everyone and everything. So God does not favor or oppose anything. That would be a judgment. God does not live in judgment. Think about how we are when we live in judgment. We judge something. Judgment implies a negative. I'm judging it. Therefore, wishing it didn't exist. That's why I'm judging it. And if I had the power, I would completely remove myself from it and make it disappear. But you see, we're not spiritually endowed that way, so we don't have the power to make it disappear except by using our free will and turning around and walking in the opposite direction and make it go away that way. But it doesn't disappear. We're just not approving of it. If God was to judge anything as not perfect, it would be judging an aspect of its own self, and it would go out like a light. Good question, Chad. Chad also says, what do you think is the purpose of this earth experiment? Chad, because from all my research, all of my spiritual practice, hanging out with divine avatars, it's an experiment because no other being in the universe can achieve God realization except humans. Through human birth, it's the only way it can be achieved. But any other beings throughout the universe can aspire to humanhood, and there are infinite beings waiting in line to do that. That's why the Spirit said in this dialogue, we must look at the gift of life and the real gift of living it. We've been given a very, very golden opportunity. It's to embody the divine principle and anchored on earth. The exact question you posed, Chad. And it took many different civilizations, 6, 7, maybe a few more, give or take, of extraterrestrials who work for God. They call God breath. Think about that. God gives life to man by breath. God breathed life into man. A lot of extraterrestrial civilizations, the word they used to call God is breath. They were used by Creator to involve themselves in our evolution. The truth does not need anyone's permission to exist. That is the truth. So we are here to unfold the divine on a physical plane. It has never been done. There are high-level civilizations throughout the entire universe. The Pleiadians, the Blue Avians, on many different dimensions. Many. But it is only through human birth on this planet we call Earth that God can be realized. Meaning, that avatar back there, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, this avatar right here, Bhagavan Sri Viswamji Visvayogi Maharaj, that we all ignite. We all have the ability, we have the opportunity to all engage and go inward and ignite the divine fire that lives in everyone. We do it by first igniting the fire within ourselves. and in turn offering that to everyone we come into contact. And if it's not in the form of a dialogue, it doesn't have to be. Simply by being present with the people you're around, your light, your spiritual fire will begin to have dialogue with them on levels they don't even understand that there's a communication happening. So that one day in the future, the entire planet Earth will become God realized. Keith, that just sounds so monumental. It is monumental. We are divinity here on earth. God lives in everyone. So we have that kind of potential to stoke that fire and create a furnace and create a bonfire and turn it into a God-love conflagration. And the more we do that, and the more we help other people do that, the faster the whole thing can turn within itself and implode into this big internal Big Bang to create the internal universe, but for the earth. And the earth will be surrounded by light. We call it the prophecy of heaven on earth. This is not just some idle biblical scripture. Heaven on earth, where everybody gets along and maybe some lambs won't be eaten by some lions and people will get along for a little while. No, no, no. It's greater than that. It's infinite. It's cosmic. It's divine. So the prophecy of heaven on earth means literally that. People say when I die, I hope to go to heaven. As if heaven is a place. Heaven is not a place. Heaven is a space. God and heaven are synonymous. It's the same word. What do we do when we die? We hang out with Jesus on a park bench in a park? Now what? That's not what this is about. That is too small. It's beyond what we can even fathom at this point until we do the work and become the embodiments of heaven on earth, anchoring heaven on earth. The divine principle anchoring heaven on earth. So this is all about us activating our dormant DNA, activating the fire. And all it takes is sheer will, using your free will and intention to say, I'm not going to look to the temporal world to find something to fill this hole that I feel inside. But instead, I'm going to feel that which is whole in me. And as we begin to do the Chad, to answer you, close off your answer, that is the experiment. Cheryl Holland says, well, hello, Cheryl. Hello, Faye. Chad says, who invented egos and why are we required to overcome them in the experience? Chad, it's another phenomenal question. The egos are not necessarily invented. Let's just say they're there. From people in the past, our peers, parents, society, religion, authority, all that stuff, familial, church, law enforcement, media. Let's just say they're there. And as children, we begin to buy into it. Especially when we're told, don't touch that thing on the table. Your grandmother gave us that. Don't make me spank your hand. It creates the disconnection process. You know why those children of an early age touch things on the table and everything they can? Those things they shouldn't touch? It's because they know it belongs to them. Until we say, doesn't belong to you, don't touch. And it creates separation. This is me, and this is the other aspect of me, which is that thing I'm going to grab, until mom or dad or someone slaps our hand, or babysitter, and says, this does not belong to you. It creates a rend. It creates a rift, a tear right there. Shh. Imagine at the age of 1 year old when your parents feel somewhat okay about patting your hand until it actually turns into a full-blown slap. Imagine how much conditioning goes into that. The first 5, 6, whatever years of your life. That's a very, very big splinter. And Chad, the idea, even though this dialogue talks about overcoming the ego, it's really not about shattering the ego. That's not really what it is. We all have a divine ego. The ego implies this is me, the identity, me. And that's you, Chad, the identity, that's Chad. That's our ego. But there is also the divine ego, the part of us that still has our own identity, but we begin to connect in spiritual consciousness. So the idea is not to shatter or remove the ego. It's about understanding it and loving it. It's the monkey. It's the monkey mind. It's the monkey that wants the banana. Give the monkey his banana. He'll leave you alone. He'll become quiet because he can't talk. He's got banana in his mouth. So you won't hear the chattering. So how do we give the metaphor? What is the metaphorical banana we give to the monkey? Give it the nourishment it wants. Love your ego. See, look, I know what you want. Of course I know what you want. We're connected in this thing and we're in it together. If you quieten down for a while, let me as the spirit create the fertile bed that will bring that into existence. What we both want, but I can't do that as long as you're making noise because it requires silence. I love you. And really respond to that aspect of yourself from this place. The monkey mind, the monkey will feel like it's got a lifelong supply of bananas. It will sit back and go, obviously, I can't bring about what I want because I'm the one that's been yakking and I have not seen a result yet. So I'm going to let you do it, spirit, because obviously I know who you are and I can't get it, but I know you can. Go get me those bananas. And it will leave you alone. Good question, Chad. Hello, Chris Cook, my bro. LaDonna says, okay, so what about getting saved? That's a fantastic, beautiful question. Well, since you asked the question, let's be really honest about that. How does that apply to Buddhist? How does that apply to Hindi? How does that apply to Sikhs? How does that apply to Jainism, Muslim, Islamic? Oh, Keith, those are radicals. If you believe that, your ignorance is showing. Radicals are radicals, no matter what country and no matter what faith they walk in. All right, if y'all want to talk about this dialogue, I will share some thoughts with you about being saved. Clark says, God sent his only son not to condemn the world, but only to save it. The son does not necessarily imply Jesus. Please hear me out. The son is Christ. Jesus was a man who over the course of his life became Christ conscious illumined. You have to agree to that. That's part of your own doctrine. When he was baptized, he became illumined. And the dove descended into him. So Jesus tapped into the consciousness that already existed. God conscious. He became plugged in. It's like there's a light in everyone's house. There's only one source of electricity. Everyone has the right to turn on their light switch and tap into the source. And the light, just like us, becomes illumined. If Jesus was to save someone, or Christ was to save someone, if a person does not choose to be saved, your deity, your Savior, does nothing. People say you have to ask Jesus to be saved and mean it. Until a person says, I want to be saved, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Jesus Christ, any deity, cannot, will not, and ever violate your free will. God gave us free will. So Jesus or any deity to walk up to you and save you for the sake of saving you without us doing the work is violating your free will. No spiritual deity will ever do that because that is not unconditional love. Unconditional love means I love you so unconditionally. I accept you exactly as you are, and there is nothing I would change in you. Because if I am God and I created you, and there's nothing I created that is not perfect, so you're perfect even in your folly, There's nothing to fix. Like Chad asked a question about the ego. The ego is not broken. It doesn't need to be fixed. We don't need to be fixed because we live in our ego. It's not our fault. It's not a sin. It's not bad. Deities will not violate your free will and save you until we show the intention to save ourselves. Because in the asking of the deity to save us is the saving of ourselves. Going to be right back. Excuse me. The Lord helps those who help themselves. The Lord helps those who help themselves. The Lord helps those who help themselves. If Jesus was to walk, any deity, was to walk around and just start illuminating people. Next. 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 Just because everyone says, I love you, my master, my savior. Next. He illuminates the next and the next. We would be living in the prophecy of heaven on earth. It's not happening. We have to do the work. Trust me, if we sit back and wait for any deity to come take away our problems, we're going to be waiting a long, long, very long time. It's not about one deity having bigger muscles than the other deity. My deity can kick your deity's butt. That is not spirituality whatsoever. That's childish. Keith, are you calling my religion childish? No, I'm not. I'm saying the mentality is of that of a child. It's not being a spiritually illumined adult. That it's my responsibility to take care of me. That would be a pitiful mess if everyone, 7, 8+ billion people around the world, which we have been doing, and it's not working. We're falling further into conundrums. We're falling further into quandary. We're falling further into quagmire. It's destroying the world, the earth, and humanity. It's changing. Get on board with the program, everyone. And it's about just loving yourself. Loving yourself and being happy is enough. Call on your deity for support. Your deity will support you. The more you call on your deity for support, the more your deity is going to support you. And it's when we begin to open and crack ourselves in half, not because we're trying to fill the hole we feel inside, but we're trying to feel that which is the wholeness inside, be it Christ, be it Buddha, be it Krishna. When we fill ourselves with the love of our divine deity, we begin to see the whole, because the deity is that which represents the whole of the pie. And as long as we look on the outside, to praise and or blame, we make ourselves slaves, because we're the ones subjected to being moved and or swayed by that which is happening in the temporal world. This person did that to me, and I don't like them for it. I'm not saying you have to like people's bad behaviors, but it ultimately comes back to self-responsibility. Well, this person makes me feel so wonderful. That's blame as well, blaming someone for your happiness. The world will never achieve realization in heaven on earth by waiting for someone to... If we take this to a physical level, a human level, and we're waiting for our partner in relationship to make us feel better, likewise, and or save us, because as long as my loved one is in my life, I feel saved and happy and blissful, and when they go away, I don't. If we cannot handle that, how can we ever expect a divine deity to come into our life, to be that said metaphorical partner relationship, to make us feel happy and whole? It does not happen, because in a relationship, it takes two people to come together in unity to have the relationship become a fire. a passionate, loving relationship. So you can bet your ass that your ever-loving, unconditional, non-judgmental deity is already spiritually illumined and on fire waiting for us. So when we begin to do the work and have the same amount of fire, you and your deity amalgamate. You become unified. And then that's a third component. It's called the birth of the Christ within. Because in that moment, you've allowed Christ within you, so the wholeness begins to blossom. It begins to birth. The Buddha compassion begins to unfold. The lotus flower begins to blossom. LaDonna says, I get it. And so did your hubby. I love it. I love it. See, because this really is not, hey, Chris Cook, I got something to share with you, my brother. See, because this is really not about losing your deity. I will never be, if I ever say to you, forget your deity, don't ever watch me again. In fact, if you're a Christian, be a Christian. And be it to the hilt. So much so that you lose all aspects of your Christianity from the book. That you now have enough knowledge about your Christianity. You've taken all that you've gleaned, all that you've learned, and you just don't use the book knowledge anymore. And it's not about just behaving and being a good person. That is not what it's about. It's about integrating the information through said scripture into your life so much. It's not just about applying what you've read, hopefully that I'm going to have something fortunate happen to me. It's about living in the fire of it, being it, having it move through you so that you have no disconnect from that in the energy that is moving through you. Hello, Karen. Chris Cook said, what's up, brother? Great to see you on it. Chris Cook, it's always a blessing to see you, bro. We still need to hang out with Mike via Skype. That's it, Clark. Spiritual connectivity is the conduit. Again, liken this to electricity that's in everyone's home and to the light bulbs that are all over your house. There's only one source. If you have a power generator and the gasoline goes out, the generator cuts off, everything metaphorically, but yet literally, illumined, shuts off. You cannot disconnect yourself from God. You can't do it. Consciously, you can. Take God out of the equation, it stops. Turn the generator off, the lights go out. And here's the kicker. You can liken yourself, we can liken ourselves to the light switch on the wall. With intention and work, you can flip that switch within and we begin to illuminate. How do you flip the switch? The outside world is fun. I love it. I love stuff. I love food. I love hanging out with friends. I love socializing. That's all cool. That's part of the fun while we are here. To anchor heaven on earth. The earth meaning the fun shit. Heaven meaning the good shit. The quality. The essence. The magic. The starlight. All the way back to the source. Not from where we came, but from the source that we're still tapped into. Though you may not be conscious of the fact that you're plugged in right now, if you can unplug yourself right now, you would not have a right now. When you come to earth and your loved ones have passed away, your loved ones are here. They're in your space. They're not a gazillion light years away. On the opposite side of that coin, just because you are on earth in this meat suit does not mean that some aspect of you is not still there as if you were disembodied or deceased. That would imply you were disconnected and you could not exist. As you live in this bag of bones and this flesh, some part of you is standing right next to your deceased loved one who is there. That's how close your family unit is in proximity to you. It's all contained within your light. You are 98.6 degrees energy. You walk outside one day into a hot 98.6 degree sun, you'd go, This is hot. And we know the sun to radiate energy. And so if you're 98.6 degrees like that sun, you have a biolumin, energetic, auric field all around you. Your deceased loved ones are in that field. Everything in the universe is in that field. Everything in every cell of your body is in that field. Back to the title of this broadcast, as it says. A burning yearning. It's in the eyes. It's always in the eyes. It's always in the eyes. We call the eyes the window to the soul. But if you look out and about, you will see people wanting something. They're all wanting something. We're all yearning. And we're looking for things through addictions. And we want to fill the hole that we feel inside. And it's not working. And when we begin to see that, I'm not saying we can't play with things from the outside world because they're fun. But when it becomes our soul, S-O-L-E, our soul, S-O-U-L, our sole reason for wanting happiness, it's like castles in the air. They will shatter. They will fall to the ground lifelessly. Chad says, so is there a God or what? Fantastic question. For those who need the idea of God, there is. For those who don't, there isn't. Don't take what I say out of context. Please. Because when you realize that this God that we claim lives here, no matter how spiritually endowed we are, we still, some part of it still assumes, believes, and holds on to the model that it's up. It's not up. So the truth of the matter is, all there is God. So from this perspective, where does that leave me? Do I dare blaspheme the divine creator by saying, I'm God? It's not blasphemy. When you say it from a space of obligation, self-responsibility, recognizing who you really are. Well, this is me. This is Keith. I live here. This is Keith. Where does God live? Everybody points here to yourself. There's no disconnect. When you become spiritually illumined, you understand that there is no God. But there is a God. It's in me. It lives and expresses as me. And it wants to get to know everyone so it can see its many different facets and faces on the physical plane. Yes, Clark, it's omnipresent. Present in all places at all times except fear. Because if God is love in totality, God does not play in the arena of fear. And when we start living love, we begin to see that we are not disconnected from that source. Faith says it starts with yourself to have happiness. It's the only place we're going to find it. Clark says the destination in the journey or the spiritual connectivity to the conduit of one source. Perfect. Clark, that is very well said, bro. Man, you should make that a meme or I'll tag you in it. The destination and the journey or the destination and the journey are the spiritual connectivity to the conduit of the one source. Bro, I'm going to give you some Facebook love right now. Kaboom. Phenomenal, dude. That was powerful. Very, very powerful. Chad says, how can a logical person receive this enlightenment? Let me take a look on YouTube real quick. How can a logical person receive this enlightenment? I am not seeing any evidence of anything supernatural. I see millions of years of evolution and man-made explanations bordering on delusions. I agree with all those, Chad. But it is supernatural. Life, as you're describing, it's all natural. It's nature. It's natural. And to me, as I look out, not only out and about, and I have tapped into something, as many of us have and do, that is not only natural, it's so natural, it's pretty freaking super. Supernatural doesn't mean in a hocus pocus. It doesn't mean in fakery or charlatanism. It's not what it means, Chad. It means, supernatural means tapping into something and experiencing something and allow something to exist in your world, in your reality. That is supernatural. It's beyond what I naturally know as real. Therefore, it is supernatural. And in that is a magic. And in that is a serious creation of energy. It's not about skepticism. I understand healthy skepticism. I get it. But to what degree is it used to keep one locked in insanity? A prison of not being able to expand. When we believe in something super, then something super can happen. Y'all have been in here for, wow, an hour and a half. If anybody has any more questions or comments, please bring them through now. So I'm going to give it one page refresh, and then I'm going to sign off. So thank you for being here. Again, let me make this announcement. March 11th at Unity Church in Walnut Grove, I'm going to be doing my first public live presentation. 5 o'clock, March 11th at Unity Church in Walnut Grove. Featuring soundscape master Angelo Rapin. Classical award-winning pianist. Dear Lord, this is going to be so fun. And I'm going to be doing a presentation about the dialogue I've created by doing this dialogue with you tonight. These live presentations, thank you for helping me create this new book coming out soon. I love you. Thank you for helping me do that. That's just really, really cool. One final refresh. Clark says, spiritual nourishment starts with an open mind to change. Yes, sir. Sue says, I really enjoyed it here. Sue, you're always welcome, dear. I love you. Blessings to you. Thank you. I brought 2 guests tonight. LaDonna, who did you bring so I can actually meet them? I would love to meet your friends. Chad says, where can I get one of those light things? Chad, I thought about you the other day. I'm actually going to purchase some light things with the Center, you're welcome, Faye, with the Center of Light logo. But they're going to be some really cool lights. This is just a light I've been using because it's handy. But I'm also going to get some shirts printed up. Center of Light radio shirts. It's probably going to have the slogan on it, why choose to believe you can when you can know, or quite a few other slogans. I may have a mixture. That's coming soon. LaDonna says she wants a light too. Hello, Tish. All right, y'all, as I say all the time, final refresh. Very, very cool, man. Tish says, hey, Pumpkin. Eddie Pressgrove, hello, brother. Eddie, have you been here for a while? If so, I didn't see you show up. Sue says, I'm waiting for the world pendant. You see, I'm starting to back up. I'm not keeping up with what I said I would do, and I don't like doing that. World pendant. World pendant. Lights, so we can all illuminate. Yeah, that might be a cool idea. Sorry about it. You know, when I do this in the room, everybody picks up their light and begins to illuminate. It's a metaphor. It is intention. Chad says, later, dude, take care. Let there be peace in the world and let it begin with me, Clark Cotton. Everyone, thank you very much for a beautiful evening spent with you. I love you. Be your best self by living in love. Be your best self by just being happy. Get out of the stuff. It's dead. It's old. The world out there is dying. It's dying. It's dying. And for many people, it already has died. Let it die. Become a pioneer. Embark on this new endeavor of your life. You don't need a reason. Seriously. Once this broadcast is over, just stand up off of your chair and declare. Stand off of the chair and declare that God is there. And prepare. You can feel it, dear Lord. You can feel it. Take a few breaths. Just a few breaths. Like you want something. Mean it. Get in there and take some breath. Now take an inventory of your body. What do you feel like? You feel it. That's God. You feel the light. You feel the buzz. You feel the illumination via your breath. Stand up. Declare who you are. Claim your responsibility. Claim your happiness. Claim your praise. Claim your blame. Take responsibility for all of it. And in so doing, you begin to wield a sword of light like a master. And like a master, your life will unfold. I love you. I love you. Peace, love, and light.